Hi guys, we sort of talked about this at the end of my live today, but I wanted to do just a really short video to explain this decision a little bit. As always, this is not legal advice, this is just my opinion of what Judge Liman responded. I would recommend getting multiple people's opinions because sometimes we have different ones and sometimes we make mistakes. Now it lists 4 different documents. 261 is sealed, and then here is 262. Now remember we have 2 case numbers, one that starts with 124, one that starts with 125. These are the same documents. 123 and 124 are from the 125 case. So Blake has said in her letter that rather than provide her medical records to the court, she'll withdraw the claims. And those claims affect the 10th and 11th causes of action, and we'll get to those in just a moment. But she said that she's withdrawing those because those are the documents involved in this motion to compel. As I said during the live, if you're really trying to prove this, you should be pretty willing to provide these. She was able to get that attorney's eyes only stipulation for things like this. Specifically, they mentioned health documents. So anything revealed would be sealed. The only things that would be made public is anything that might make it to trial. And in order for it to make it to that, it would have to survive multiple objections, limine all of her attorney's attempts to strike it. It's very unlikely that anything very personal, non-related to this case, would ever see the light of day. So she's pretty secure to have these things provided to the court. I personally think she has nothing to provide to the court, and that's what she's trying to avoid admitting. But it's a bigger problem than she thought it was going to be. She was trying to file this without prejudice, meaning she could keep it in her pocket and bring it back to court later. We'll see how that works out for her. But these denials are not a bad thing. It simply means if she withdraws it, she's no longer claiming severe emotional distress, so her medical records are not needed. So there's no reason for the court to compel them. That's all that means. Now the next part says Lively's request that because the parties have agreed to dismiss Miss Lively's 10th and 11th causes of action, the court exercises its inherent authority and authority under Rule 15 to dismiss them without prejudice. Now that's a quote directly from Michael Gottlieb's letter. Judge Liman says that's denied without prejudice to renewal. And here we see her 10th and 11th causes of action. 10th was intentional infliction of emotional distress, and 11th was negligent infliction of emotional distress. And I do have an episode coming up that talks about these. Now, this denial without prejudice to renewal means that she can file another formal motion, and it must stipulate whether it's the dismissal with prejudice or without prejudice. So this isn't final. If she does choose to file again, the court will rule on this again. But it has to stipulate with or without and what both parties want that to be. And this last bit is the most exciting. It says, for avoidance of doubt, he's saying, let me be clear. If the claims are not dismissed, the court will preclude Lively from offering any evidence of emotional distress. So ordered. So if she wants to argue that she suffered emotional harm as part of any kind of emotional distress claim, she needs to keep these claims active. She can't dismiss them because once she withdraws them, she can't introduce evidence of emotional distress at all. This is a sanction-like consequence, which is funny because they were the one requesting sanctions against Team Justin. This type of sanction is a sanction to protect fairness because all claims are supposed to be able to be fully investigated during discovery. So if she withdraws them, Justin can't investigate them. They can't request any more discovery on it. So this wouldn't be fair if she tries to bring it up later when it's too late for them to be investigated through discovery. So this is about procedural fairness. It's not a sanction like discipline. It's this warning. You cannot reverse course later. And some of us kind of talked about that in the live, that we wondered if she was trying to be sneaky, as we've seen with her behavior, keep it in her pocket, avoid discovery, and then pull it out later. But he's saying, for the avoidance of doubt, the court will preclude Lively from offering any evidence of emotional distress. So it's a now or never situation. You can't deny Team Justin the chance to fully investigate this, to fully probe this, and then pull it out later. So this has a potential to have a large effect on her entire case. He says any evidence of emotional distress. These are the only 2 causes of action that specifically mention them, but it would seem, and I would love to hear, for example, not actually Golden's take on this since this is her field of expertise. So I'm putting this disclaimer here that if she disagrees with this, listen to her. But it seems like she would not be able to mention emotional distress in any of her other causes of action because she's not allowing it to be investigated during discovery. This is a big deal if that's the case. And I really look forward to hearing other people give their opinions on this. This is just my opinion, as always, not meant to be legal advice of any kind. But I love that Judge Liman isn't letting her get away with this, what I call bratty behavior. And I hope we see more rulings like this in the near future.